huge UFO coming. It's lowering slowly, and from my perspective, I think it's going to land right on top of me. So telepathically, I yelled, "Hey!"
Welcome to Breaking the Silence. This is In Conversation With, and my name is Steve Neal, your host. And today I have a gentleman on that I've been talking to for quite a while now, who's been wanting to talk about his experiences, and his name is Michael Francis Pagel. Michael, welcome to the show, and thank you for coming forward to talk about your experience. Can you start by telling us a little bit about your background and what got you involved in this?
Uh, Thank you, Steve. I'm so glad to be finally talking to you directly. Um, Background. Okay. Well, I'm just going to go right into it. The day that I realized that things were not as I thought they were in the universe. So, well, my background is I'm a veteran. I'm a Navy combat veteran, Vietnam. Had a pretty bad childhood and joined the Navy to get away from that situation and ended up getting into something worse. But I'm still glad that I did it. So I will start talking about the day that everything changed.
Okay.
Um, I used to drive out. I lived in Milwaukee at the time, and this was around 1979. I used to drive out usually alone out into farmland about 40 miles west of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and most of the time I went to the cattle moraine forest day and night alone. And I went out. It was an early spring day, I think 79, and it was beautiful. It was warm. And I drove out Highway 18, probably like 40 miles into farmland. And I came upon a small road and I was headed west. So I turned right onto that road, which put me heading north. I didn't go very far and I saw a farm. And I went out to, I also took pictures. So I also had my camera. And I saw this farm. So I parked the car on the side of the road, grabbed my camera. I walked down a slope towards a wooden fence that bordered the farm. And I walked down the slope up to the fence. And by that time, it was getting late afternoon. And I took 3 pictures. I took 2 of the farm, and which was due west, and then I took another one to the left, which would be southwest. There are some trees over there. I took a picture of. I finished taking the pictures. I turned around. I was walking away. This is more emotional than expected.
It's okay.
I was walking away, and something told me to
Just take your time,
something
Michael.
told me to turn around and look behind me. So I turned around and I looked up at the sky and I saw 2. I thought they were jets. They're gray, and they were flying in my general direction. And um, it didn't take long. It took me a couple of seconds to realize they were UFOs. And every time stopped. I mean, stopped. There were no animals. There were no people. There was no traffic. And the next thing I knew, I was back at the fence where I was taking the pictures with no memory of how I got there. But now, instead of facing to the west towards the UFOs approaching, I was facing away from them, and there was a slight. I have a photographic memory. There was a slight breeze blowing. It was very nice, and I had my back to the fence, and I realized. I thought to myself, "This has happened." Sorry. This has
So-
happened before. That's what I thought to myself. This has happened before, but I didn't remember any other incidences. But I just knew. And I didn't move, but I didn't feel paralyzed either. It was kind of like that's what I was supposed to do, so I didn't move. And later on, I realized that also there were two spheres approaching, one towards me, and one flew past me very fast. The second one flew past me, headed to the east, and the first one flew directly towards me. So as I was, this I realized later, as I was against the fence, facing away from it, I had the sense that the first sphere was behind me and above me. That's just a later memory. And
Mhm.
then everything stops again. Time stops. The next thing I know, I'm in my car. It's night. The moon is out, and I'm driving towards Milwaukee to the east. I don't remember getting into the car. I just came to in the car, and I'm already driving. And I was elated. I didn't even know what happened. I knew something big had happened. I was elated. I was so excited. And I looked at my watch and it said, as I recall, 7:20. So once again, I was alert now though, no
Mhm.
traffic at all, no sign of anybody. And I don't, the next thing I know, I'm, I'm back home and completely forgot, just went on as if nothing had happened. And later I had a dream, pretty, I call them lucid dreams, I guess, pretty
Mhm.
strong dream. And it filled in what happened from the fence when I was standing, facing away from the approaching UFO. Uh, you know, I was facing to the east, they're coming from the west. So I went, it showed me that I was probably those trees I took a picture of. I was now over there. Didn't remember how I got there. I'm standing there. It's dark, really dark, and there is I don't know how I know this, but I was aware that there was a tall being on my left, about a few feet away from me, and there were two small beings behind me, one behind me to the left, one behind me to the right. And I looked up, and there's this huge UFO um, coming. It's lowering slowly, and from my perspective I think it's going to land right on top of me. So telepathically I yelled, "Hey!" And it immediately stopped. It readjusted so that an opening in the center of it was directly over me, and then it slowly came down until the opening was real close. It was around me, actually. The circumference was around me, and inside it was dark, but I could see a small being leaning over the edge as if to help me get in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's all I remember. That stops right there because I had a panic attack,
Right.
which
Do,
is
do,
not the only time that when I see the opening or very close to a UFO, I have panic attacks at the time that it happens. And
well, Michael, that's a pretty traumatic thing to experience, and as you're describing it to me, I can feel it so strongly because I've been there.
yeah,
The spheres
so
that you saw, were they very large, those spheres?
I've really been thinking about that, and I
Mhm.
would say my guess is I could see them when the UFOs were pretty far away. I could see them clearly, so I would say 6 feet maybe in diameter. maybe bigger. So,
You know, you know that a lot of spheres have been seen recently.
oh, really?
Um, yeah, yeah. Whether there's the bogus sphere, I don't know what to think about that. But there's been numerous videos taken over the last year of
Hmm.
these spheres. They're just metallic spheres, and sometimes there's several of them together. And oddly
Yeah.
enough, when we were at my flying field, my friend was photographing my airplane with video flying, and when I was in, and it was shot on high resolution, and so when I'm in the edit bay and I'm looking at the footage, I'm trained to see very tiny things and things that appear for one frame or two frames, and I
Uh-huh.
saw one of those spheres, and it was sitting in the background the whole time I was flying. I was able to grab
Wow.
frame glass from it, so I wondered if you knew about that. Um,
No, I didn't.
That's why I asked that question. That was the only reason. But everything
Okay.
else you described, um, I'm very visual, and I don't know if I have a photographic memory, but I remember everything visually. I mean, I can go right
Yeah.
back, be there, and as you were describing that, I felt like I was there.
Yeah.
And I know whether it's no matter how you look at it, it's unnerving when it happens.
Yeah, it is. Um, so yeah, much later I had the dream that filled in the blanks about what
Right.
happened after at the fence. So I'm going to go to my notes and just tell you all the different things that have happened.
Sure.
I'll
You do know that the subconscious, a lot of times it will repress things and it will come out in dreams.
yeah, I think I'm beginning to experience. Oh, that way. I thought you meant when I'm talking about it. Yeah, yeah, it does. I do have weird dreams that go to that. I just had a really fantastic occurrence. I was watching Star Trek 2 nights ago, Star Trek Next Generation, and the Ferengi. They have these two spheres, and they put one on the ship on the Enterprise, and they have one with them.
I remember it
I
well.
had been wondering what was that sphere for, and I thought I bet it was to control me, but I wasn't sure. So I watched Star Trek 2 nights ago, and I'm thinking about that, and it was about the Ferengi controlling Captain Picard with a sphere. So that was confirmation that that's what his
Interesting.
purpose was. Yeah. So anyway, I'll go to the second abduction. I'm just saying abduction, so everybody knows what I'm talking about. I hate the word.
Well, we don't like to use it either. So you're in
Yeah.
good company, Michael, because we don't know that it is abduction.
No, it's
There's
not. I
plenty
know
of
it's
people
not.
out
It's
there.
I volunteer to do this.
Yeah,
I'm
I
willing
know.
to do it. I don't care if they do it again, and they probably will.
Yeah.
Anyway, the second time I'm at the Audubon. There's an Audubon Trail by Lake Michigan, north of Milwaukee,
Hmm.
and I went there. And I'm in my 20s, so I apologize for what I did. I wouldn't do that now, but I was going down the trail alone again in the daytime, probably summer, nice day out, and there's this beautiful flowering plant, and I wanted to take it home and take a picture of it, so I dug it up and I put in my. I'm on my knees in the dirt digging the plant up, and same thing happened. I get a sense of to turn around, and I turned around and I don't recall a UFO, but there was a ramp about 8 feet high at a 45-degree angle, and there were two little people running down it fast, and everything stopped. Time stops again. That's all I remember.
No noise, no sound, no breath.
No sound, no nothing. Same thing with the first abduction. No lights, no sound, no nothing. Um, anyway, okay, so I turned around and that's all I remember. And then everything, the rest of the day went on as usual. But when I got home, uh, I had a large full page color photo that I developed of the plant. I went to my apartment, I turned all the lights off. I used a flash to take a picture of the flowers. And then I sent it in and I had it developed. And when I got back, I have this picture. I still have it. There was a being in the picture, and it was behind the flowers, and it was holding a clump of dirt. And it took me a long time. It's not real clear, but it took me a long time to be able to figure that what it was doing there. And it was holding it out towards me in the picture. And I just recently realized what it was doing. It was reprimanding me for killing that beautiful plant. Basically, I killed it.
Wow. Wow.
And it was saying, don't do this. And the creature itself, now this is after last study because it's not very clear, but it had a three fingers and one thumb. But they're human though, shorter than a normal human, but human fingers and a human
Mhm.
thumb. And its eyes were yellowish with a black vertical pupil. Um, I can't get up anyway because my monitor's in a precarious position, but I have the picture. But
Right. Well, you can always
it's
email a
just,
copy of it.
it won't work email. I already tried copying it,
Hmm.
and I'd have to send it directly to you.
Hmm.
And I didn't want to put you in a position of having to send it back again. So anyway, to move on, so yeah, I figured out, and it has camouflage also, camouflage skin and very very rough skin. Just a very strange. I still not sure if that was a paranormal entity in the apartment or if it was um, you know, a being,
Hmm.
a visitor.
Well,
So,
they're related, so
say what?
I mean, the phenomenons are related. A lot of people don't agree with that, but far more,
Oh, I have very very serious paranormal things going on in my apartment.
but
It's
they're
been going
related.
on for years. Very serious. Yeah. But I've coped with that. I know how to deal with it.
Have you found furniture moved away from the wall, rugs folded up underneath your bed, things like that? Because that's what happens here. I laugh because
Yeah,
it's humorous.
I'll tell you how it started. Well, it scared me though. There
Well,
was a man
yeah.
above me who didn't, huh? Pardon me?
No, I said, yeah, it scares you, and a lot, and it's a lot of the times, how I deal with fear is I laugh at it. I don't know if that
Oh,
makes sense to anybody, but
no,
it does that works that way with pain too. If I feel extreme pain,
yeah.
I'll start laughing. I don't know why, but I do, and it seems to help.
It wasn't the first time I've had a paranormal experience, so I knew that
Mhm.
number one rule is do not be afraid.
Yes.
Most important thing to know. Do not
Yep.
be afraid. They feed off of that. So anyway, this guy died above me. Now he didn't like me because I played my music loud, and he one time he dropped the bowling ball on his floor, and I literally flew out of the couch. So anyway, um, that's how it started. And the glass doors on the stereo unit opened up by themselves. The first thing that happened was I had a pile of magazines next to me, and the bottom half of the magazines flew across the room. The top half dropped down without being messed up at all, just the bottom half. And then the two glass doors opened up. That did scare me, but I got over it quickly because I knew the rule: don't be afraid. So that's how it all started, and then it's been going on since then. Actually got worse because something else moved in with this guy. So anyway, to go back to the subject,
Right.
um, okay, then yeah, I got that picture back, which I still have. Okay, this is everything that's happened in another apartment in Milwaukee in the probably the 70s. Four things. I woke up suddenly. I looked at my window. It was in the summer, and I had my window open, and there was a screen on it. And I saw a black form go right through the screen and shoot up to the sky. And I jumped out of bed and slammed the window shut. And I remember thinking, I'll bet that whatever that was heard it because it made a loud noise when I slammed the window. So that's one incident. And the other one is when I woke up and I slept on my right side. So I woke up and I sensed something behind me and I couldn't feel the bed under me. And I I knew something was back there and I said, "Who are you?" And then it moved towards me. It had an aura around it. I could feel it in my body. The closer it got, I could just tell how close it was getting by this aura. And it started halfway towards me from behind me. And then it moved back. And then I said, "Who are you?" Not telepathically out loud.
Hmm.
And it came back again really close. I mean, I think it would have touched me if it weren't any closer. And it said telepathically, "Beverly." And then I thought, well, it was a male voice. So I thought, well, that's weird, but I was satisfied. It answered me. I fell asleep right away. So the next morning, I'm up. I think it was a Saturday morning. There was a Star Trek on my TV, and I was listening to it, but I was doing other things. And all of a sudden, the doctor from the doctor from the Enterprise walks into the room, one of the rooms of the Enterprise, and it's Beverly.
Oh, yes.
And then and with the way she said Beverly was not normal. It wasn't the normal TV sound. It was a very altered sound to get me to really pay attention. And I realized that who was in my room was equivalent to a doctor. So that's the second one. This is all in the same room. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, once again, pitch black. I'm in my combination living dining room. I'm facing a female entity, but I can't see her. I never see them. I never see their faces. They're always in the dark. And but I know that it's a female visitor in front of me, close. And
Hmm.
I said, and I'm talking to her like she's an old friend. I said, "Oh, what's your name?" And she said, "Toi Kio." And then she said right after that, she said, "I travel a lot." And I knew we'd had an interaction, which I don't want to go into detail in, but I knew that we'd had an interaction. And then that was the end of that memory. And then the fourth thing, all in the same apartment. Oh, I woke up again suddenly, and there was by my doorway, there was a bathroom, my bedroom doorway. I looked out the bedroom doorway from my bed, and there's a bathroom to the right. And one of the little ones ran past really fast, like I had caught it off guard. And I swear my heart stopped. I can't,
Yeah,
you'd have to have experienced this. It's your heart, the fear is so intense and so sudden that it's like your whole body just locks up,
it's
including your
very
heart.
it's very primal, I feel, because the other night I was, it's 3 in the morning, I guess, and I was in the bathroom and I was going to the bathroom, and the bathroom door is open and there's a bit of light coming from the hallway and the living room, and I saw
Uh-huh.
a very short little humanoid dark shadow go by fairly quickly, but just a nice, like, and that feeling that you're describing, I felt.
Yeah. Okay. So you know.
Yeah, but go on, please, because you will. you will trigger me as you go. I'm not, a host or an interviewer that hasn't been there. So
Yeah.
excuse me if I interrupt sometimes and say,
Oh, that's fine.
oh my God, that happened to me. Well, some people complain that I do that, but we are having a conversation as well as you're telling your story. And that one really
Right.
got me because I know that fear. I know it.
Yeah.
And you know it's wrong, but
Yeah.
it's like it's part of your primal awareness dating back to the time we were in caves.
Uh-huh. And I'm always surprised when that happens because it seems like you should have a heart attack, you know?
Yeah,
You should keel over. But it doesn't do that though.
no,
You
but boy,
recover.
it wakes you up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like I'm
Huh.
all alert now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it went by. Like you caught it
Yeah, I
off
went by
guard.
and then yeah, it was gone. Um okay, now these others are in different places I live. So by
Okay.
this happening so often, I know they follow me wherever I go. They will show up wherever I go, and they have. So this one is in a different
I hear this
apartment.
all the time from people, Michael.
Oh, okay. So I had a girlfriend that was sleeping with me,
Hmm.
and I got in. I was in bed, and I covered up with some blankets and stuff. And early morning, probably really late at night, I wake up and my my blankets are off of me. Um, I think I had underwear on, and I'm laying the wrong way on top of the bed, on top of the everything, and I'm facing the head of the bed, and I'm thinking like, what the hell happened? How did I end up here? So later on, I thought, okay, I know what happened. I'd been put back the wrong way, but that's all I remember about that particular thing.
That's happened to me many times, and you try as best you can to rationally explain why you would have uncovered yourself like that, and you're just in a pair of underwear, and you're cold, and you're facing the
Yeah.
wrong way. And the more interesting part of it for me is how um, the covers are very precisely folded back. Like you
Oh,
took time to do it, right? Why
uh,
would you do that? And
yeah.
I don't sleepwalk, and I don't think you do either. And even
No,
if you did, why would you do that? It's very difficult to explain rationally.
right. Another in a different bath or a different apartment. Oh, the catamaran abduction. Um, because I drove out in my car at night a lot. I like driving. I would drive anytime, but frequently, probably most frequently at night. Because I just like how things look at night. It's like everything looks mysterious when it's really dark like that. And I would
Yeah, it
drive
does.
down all these highways and small roads and stuff. And I don't remember driving this night, but sudden this memory came up. This dream came up I say it's a memory. It's hard to tell the two apart, but I know when something really happened. This really happened. I'm standing in heavy forest. I'm standing up, but I'm attached to a metal support, which is attached to my back. So it's about the
Oh,
size of a camping cot. And I don't know how I'm attached to it, but I am. And straight across from me, in the dark again, I know there's one of the small beings just a few feet from me, and it's either squatting or it's that small. I don't know. I can't see it. I just
they
know.
are
I know
tiny.
they're there. I know exactly where they are. I know they're looking at me, but I can't see them. So we're waiting for something. I know that we're waiting. And then suddenly I shoot straight up from the ground with this thing attached to my back, straight up, uh, way up. And it was really cool though, because I was not
Yeah,
afraid. And
yeah.
I'm looking down and I can see the forest and the pine trees getting smaller and smaller as I go up. I've never gotten emotional about these things before. as I go up, it's getting smaller and smaller, and I'm really high. And now I'm approaching a UFO. And as I get close to it, really close, panic attack. Again, panic attack. And that's the end of that memory. I never remember anything after the panic attacks. So
They
that's
probably
another
shut
one.
you down. They probably shut you down and put you in a state of hypnosis to calm you, because at least that's what I've experienced. And I know many, many others that I've worked with over the years have
Uh-huh.
as well. They will just shut you down, calm you down, put you
Yeah.
asleep.
Now I do have a clue that it may have been a metal table because I have another separate memory, at least it occurred to me separately, where
Hmm.
I in a very fuzzy memory where I'm lying on a metal table the size of a cot, but where my head is, there's a basin, and that's all I remember. So it's obvious I'm inside a craft. Well, I don't know if it's what I was attached to in the previous memory or if it's a separate memory,
Right.
but
No,
I'm
that
able.
if you've never had hypnosis about any of this.
No, I probably never will because of my
Yeah.
anxiety problems. Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't want to. I know I'm going to get anxiety if I do that,
Understood.
and they know it. They know it because they never show me their face. Because I watch your program, and it's so common that they do. They put their face right up to your face. So they never do that with me. Never. Because if they do, I'm going to go over the edge because I've already got all these other things causing me anxiety in regular life, right?
And they seem to know about that, and
Yeah,
that
no,
shows that that shows that they have concern to me.
yes, that's how I feel. I want to tell you something very interesting. The day that I told you I was committed to doing what we're doing today, that night I had, I guess you call it a lucid dream,
Hmm.
where I knew they were coming. I knew it. And there was this loud buzzing sound. I don't know what that had to do with anything, but it was connected to them coming. This loud buzzing sound. And the next thing I know, there are three visitors. I'm standing up. It's the lights are on. There's two small visitors in front of me, inches away, right? But they're
Right.
human. I suspect they weren't really human. I suspect they didn't want me to see their real face. I don't know though, but they were human. And then there was the tall one, really tall. I mean, and I never looked directly at him because I'm afraid I'll see his face. But he was, I mean, he was right here, inches, and he was standing on my right. And I remember I texted you and I said, if they communicated, I don't remember anything. They didn't have to. I realized after that, they were giving me support for like family. They're being protective and support for me doing what I'm doing now, which I've known I'm supposed to do for a long time. They were giving me support. That's what that was all about. So they were really there though. And I don't, they probably was in a dream environment, but they were really there. So that happened. Just
So
the same.
they know that, or at least this is hypothetical. I mean, I'm surmising here that the reason that they would do this is to help you relieve some of the stress you have, not just from this, but many things. That if you talk about this, you'll feel better, and
Yeah.
they care
Yeah.
about that. And
Yeah.
that as far as appearing human and not appearing human, I've seen that too. And you probably know, because you watched the program, about when I saw a butcher block in front of my my refrigerator that night. I went to get water, and it was just so odd and
Uh-huh.
disturbing. Why is there a butcher block there? And it started to move, and then I saw what it really was, and it was this little tiny creature. So
Right.
it was
Right.
appearing as a butcher block initially, and then somehow I saw
Uh-huh.
through it, or let me. I don't know, but they do that.
Yeah. They're very kind, I think.
Well, they
Um,
have been with me. I mean, and many. I would say in the community we have in Breaking the Silence, which I'm hoping is a microcosm and representative of the greater whole of people who have this experience, that most of them feel that way too, that this is not something that's a threat. This is something that
No,
is kind, And as far as the probing and the somewhat medical procedures, things like that, those seem to be no different than the ones we get from our own doctors. Again, it's done to help us. So,
yes. You just triggered a memory. Um,
oh boy.
let's see. That would be um, in the building I live in now, but a different apartment in this building.
Hmm.
And this was maybe a few years ago. Um, I was sleeping on my right side in my bedroom, and the bedroom door was behind me. I woke up, I turned, I looked over my left shoulder, and I saw a little visitor come in rather quickly, not running though, but quickly. And he came past the bed of my bed around me to my right side, which is where I would have been facing if I had stayed that way. But I was looking left now, so I looked back to the right, and I looked right at him or her, who knows, and couldn't see it, but I knew exactly where it was. It was just a few feet from me, 2 or 3 feet, and I knew it was looking directly at me, and it felt like friendly. It really felt friendly. I just had that feeling. And then I looked back at the door again. Now, this is really strange, just warning you. I looked back at the door, and this tall being came in the bedroom door. And same thing, it's just, I can't see it, any detail on it, but I can see its form. It's very tall, and it's walking towards me. And it was wearing a top hat. I mean, like a 19th century stovepipe hat. And it just seems so funny to me. Um,
Yes.
and
And it's not uncommon either.
oh, really?
No, no, there's people that have described that before.
Oh, okay.
And
So it walked towards me, and I got scared, and I looked away towards to my right, to where the small being was, and I felt the bed sink down softly behind me, and instantly I was asleep. That's all I remember of that particular incident. Instantly, it just comforted me. I don't know why. The way it just softly sunk down behind me, and I think it was designed to do that, actually.
it
And,
sounds like it to me. I can sense. I don't know. It sounds familiar to me too. So
oh, okay, okay.
I think
Um,
they know what comforts us. I mean, they really do. And
yeah. Oh, I just got another memory. This is interesting. I um, I was sitting in the back when I used to work as a nurse at the VA. I was a registered nurse, and I was sitting
mm,
in the bathroom, and it was quiet, and I heard this beep sound, and I thought, "What is that?" Because I didn't hear it anywhere else where I worked. On on the unit I worked, right?
right.
Just in the bathroom. It was surrounded by tile walls. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I heard this beep. And once I started hearing it, I heard it all the time. And like one night I went out and I heard it, and I went outside and I looked up at the stars, and it was louder then. It was like it was a clear signal. And I decided to measure it. So, because it was exactly spaced evenly, and it was exactly 1.5 seconds. And the other thing related to that is I lived on the fourth floor at the time. This building I'm in now, but fourth floor, and I'm by the out. There's a screen door there, and I'm right by that door there, and I get a radio station in my head, a radio station. and I was really freaked out. And I turned. It was just my head was like an antenna. I turned my this way, it would fade, and I turned my way this way, and it got stronger, like you're holding a radio.
Right.
And I got scared because then I started to think, what if this never stops? What if this is going to be for the rest of my life? And they know when you're upset because it instantly shut off. And lately I've had an idea because from programs I've seen, they use a that signal. It's a locator signal. Where are you? That's how they find you. This is
The beep,
my
the beep, the
assessment
beep,
of it.
beep, beep, beep. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, every 1.5 seconds, and they use it's a radio signal. So I have I have a radio that has a special frequencies on it.
Hmm.
And what I've been thinking about lately is, although I don't hear it at will anymore, I was thinking I would turn the dial real slow and see if I can pick up a signal that's every 1.5 seconds, just out of curiosity, to see if it's still there. Because I know I've had an implant in my brain. I know that for sure.
I'm
Um,
right there with you.
I was, yeah, and I forget what else I was going to say about that. Oh, that was it, I guess. Um,
Well, it's interesting. You are familiar with Barney and Betty Hill,
yes, I read the book. Hmm.
and yeah, it's a great book. And the film that was made about it in the '70s with James Earl Jones was excellent. It was the book. They actually did the book, which is very unusual for Hollywood. But that beeping sound,
Yeah.
remember
Uh
the
huh.
beeping sound they heard, and
No,
I
I forgot about that.
yeah, oh yeah, they heard it, and also they both heard it, and also I've heard it. In fact, I heard it
Uh huh.
recently in the house.
Uh huh.
It was late at night and laying in bed, and I heard it clear as day. And I would estimate that it was a second to a second and a half as well. And then as you've talked to
Oh,
other people, you will hear other people also have heard that beeping sound. So
oh, okay.
it's very curious. It really is. So it's fascinating.
Yeah. I have something related to that. Now I'm going to qualify this. This memory is very foggy. Okay.
Well,
And
they can
when they're
be.
really foggy like that, I'm not sure, did that really happen? But I tend to think it did. I one night I'm I rarely would do this, but I would move from my bed to the couch in the living room and sleep there. Well, apparently they showed up in my bedroom expecting me to be there, and it's funny. If this really happened, it's funny. They were freaking out. I mean, it was one of the little ones. I don't know if there's one or more, but was
Yeah.
freaking out because I wasn't there, and they were looking for me in the bedroom. And finally, at least one of them came out where I was sleeping, and it floated. It floated above me, and then I fell asleep. I was back to sleep again. But I thought it was so funny because they just didn't expect that. If this really happened, I'm going to qualify it, okay? If it really
Yeah.
happened, but
Yeah.
to me, it probably did.
Yeah. What's really interesting is how many people say, I saw this being in my house, or I saw a UFO outside my window, and I just went back to sleep, and I hear it over and over again. And I've told this story before, but one night Mary woke up, could not find me anywhere in the house. I wasn't in bed. I wasn't in the bathroom. I wasn't in the back. I wasn't in the backyard. I was nowhere in the house. She
Uh-huh,
couldn't find me. So she just went back to bed and went to sleep. 2 weeks later, same thing happened to me. I couldn't find her anywhere, and I'm going to the
uh-huh,
bathroom, and because I really had to be, and I'm getting panicked. Like, what if she never shows up back? Or I was really stressed out by it, and
yeah,
went back, and she was not in the bed. I mean, I pulled the covers back, everything, and then after I was done going to the bathroom, I came back in. She was there, and then
oh,
I just went to bed and went back to
uh-huh,
sleep. So, often you'll hear people talk about traumatic events and or very exciting events, and you'd think that, well, you'd stay awake longer to see how this finishes out, but they just
Yeah.
something they get in your head and they just say, no, go back to sleep, nothing to see here, you're fine.
Right. Yeah. Let me see what else I got here. Oh, 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 that one I did. The hieroglyphs.
Oh,
I
okay.
know this happened. I don't know if I don't know if it was a dream or I'm absolutely certain it was real. I'm about 4 or 5 years old. I
Okay.
become aware that I'm standing in a dark space. I can't see anything. It's really dark. There are several rows in front of me of horizontal rolls, fairly long, but several of them, and with hieroglyphs. And they're all evenly spaced, so, like this. And this voice, this male voice says, "We are, it must be real.
Take a breath.
We are from another galaxy." They didn't say anything else, but I knew that they wanted me to look at the hieroglyphs. So I looked at each one from left to right. I looked at each one carefully,
Hmm.
studied it a little bit. And as soon as I finished, the same male voice said, do, do you understand? And I nodded. I was a little boy. I nodded like that, yes. And but consciously, I had no idea what those hieroglyphs said and what the message was, if there was a message there. Uh, but unconsciously, I did, or I wouldn't have nodded yes. It wasn't
Hmm.
out of fear. It was an honest answer. Yes, I understand. I still don't know what was going on there. The only thing I can think of is that it was preparing me for something unconsciously, so that if something happened, I would know what to do. Like wild guess, maybe the paranormal stuff. It puzzles me that I knew how to deal with that because
It might be that
pretty intense.
another part of yourself may have already known what those meant from
Maybe
long
I
ago or
don't really
from the
know.
time before you were even born, who knows? And
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's just speculation. I'm thinking it was something unconscious,
a lot
and
of
it
people
had a
see
purpose.
hieroglyphs. A lot of people see
Oh,
hieroglyphs and symbols. It's
and they
very,
were
very.
not Egyptian. Just so there's no confusion about that. I've studied Egyptian intensively. They were not Egyptian hieroglyphs. These were different. I don't remember them clearly now, but I do remember that they were not something you would see on the planet. They were different.
I was going to ask you, and you got right to it. And if you have memories going back to early childhood of this stuff, and because I do, that you've watched my
Mhm.
films, and it starts really early for a
Yeah,
lot of people, and so it did for you. Obviously, if you're 4 years old. I mean,
yeah.
do you remember
And
anything?
you just triggered another memory. Another
There
memory.
there's there
Um,
are certain books, if you read them, they will trigger you, and one of those is, of course, Susie Hanson's Dual Soul Connection. If you haven't read that book, I would highly recommend it.
I actually believe I do have a dual soul because going way back, I have felt like what I see, somebody else sees. It's like I even told my therapist that. I said to her, I said, they're probably looking at you right now as I'm looking at you. And I've had
Yeah,
that feeling for a very long time. and it's like I'm being used to learn. So what I see, what I go through, whatever this other soul is, it's to learn. I don't know that for sure.
I would highly recommend her book to read it. I think it would be very calming and soothing for you to read. That's just my opinion, but I just
Okay.
um, it
Yeah, I
triggered
do have
me
a
a whole
fear.
bunch. But you're by yourself when you get triggered, so it's like you're reading along, and it's like, oh, I didn't forget that. I just buried it.
Uh,
It's never anything
uh-huh.
you forgot. You forgot. It's for me. It's always something I buried because I couldn't make sense of it. And as I got older, I looked back on it and just thought, well, that was my childhood imagination because that's what all
Uh-huh.
adults will tell you and all learned people will tell you. But they don't know.
Yeah,
They're not you.
right.
They don't have your experience. So
Yeah. I have reservations about that because I'm afraid it might trigger a traumatic um, visitor experience,
perhaps, but
seeing what they look like.
Susie's book is very comforting. I found it
Okay.
very comforting. And many people did, and
Okay.
you know, did you watch the episode we did with Susie?
I believe I did just watch that.
Yeah, and- yeah.
I watch them all, so I'm confused as to which one it is.
Well, it's the one with the
Um,
lady from New Zealand, and she talked about the
yeah,
experience where the beings turned into light and they danced and mingled together, and yeah, that's Susie. So
and they felt this like infinite love, and they
yeah,
were happy.
yeah.
They felt happiness. Yeah.
You're talking about Yossi.
Talking about your story.
Yossi Rowan from Israel. Yeah, he was amazing. And I'm going to read
Uh,
his book too. Uh, he was amazing, and so many people that we're talking to are all on that same level. It would seem. So when
uh-huh.
I hear, you know, about films about disclosure and they're pushing the threat narrative,
Yeah.
um, I have a problem with that because I'm not getting that.
Yeah. I'm
I
so
mean,
tired of seeing the word terrify when I
yeah,
look at programs.
abducted against your will, and
Yeah.
how do you know? How do these people know it happened against our will? You said yourself
Right.
here you're willing to do it. So how is that against your will? They don't have the
Yeah.
experience. They haven't been there. It's like someone trying to relate to your experiences in Nam who never served in combat. They can't possibly understand.
Right. Very true.
So they're
Um,
the experiences are similar in that sense that these are things that are extremely traumatizing, yes, because it's so far out of our reality that we've been brought up on. But yet there it
yeah.
is. And it's real for you. And it's real for a lot of other people. So
Yeah.
there must be something to it, right?
Right. My son who passed away when I was 16 from cancer,
Oh,
I
gee.
told him everything about the visitors, and he believed me. And but I have no evidence that he was ever abducted. I have no evidence of that. And my theory about that, or my hypothesis about that, is he had a genetic disease, and
Hmm.
that maybe they couldn't use him. I don't know though. That's a guess. But
Yeah.
as far as I know, he was never approached by them. But there was one incident. Um, he asked me a question one day, and he said, "Dad, how does sound travel from one room to another, or from one place to another?" And they took over my body. The visitors, they took it over, and they answered him directly. They said, "Sound is a frequency or vibration that in the air that causes the wall to vibrate, and the wall the wall vibrates, causing the air in the next room to vibrate." And I had never even thought about that myself. But that, I told him right away, I said, that wasn't me, that was them. And he
Huh.
believed me.
Yeah, they're describing a speaker.
Oh,
Yeah. You think that's what speakers do. They just they vibrate, they move the air and we hear the
mhm,
frequency and that's the sounds we hear.
yeah.
Wow.
So that was the one incident where there was a relationship between them and my son. Let me see what else we got here. Oh, yeah, okay. I was driving with my girlfriend from Chicago to Milwaukee at night. We were approaching Milwaukee, and I saw out the right side of the car a white hot liquid metal drip from the sky to the ground. And I said to my girlfriend, "Did you see that?" And she said, "Yeah." And then she just, blew it off. And I didn't know what did I just see, because it started like maybe 100 feet above the ground, but I couldn't see anything else though, just darkness. So I saw it a second time though. This is one of the nights that I drove out into the wild, right?
Hmm.
40 miles west of Milwaukee at night. And I came upon an intersection. Now I knew about the visitors being able to have you see what they wanted you to see. And I came upon a scene where there was a squad car with its lights on talking to someone. And the officer was outside the car and he was talking to someone. And I stopped. There was a stop sign there. I was at an intersection. This was in a suburb pretty far out in the country. And the officer turned around and looked right at me. And I got nervous because he might want to know what am I doing out there at that time of the night, right? So I quickly made a left turn and drove past him. But right after I'm not quite sure what instance that happened, but just before I pulled out to the left turn, I saw that again, a white hot liquid metal drip from the sky. And I knew what it was though. I knew there's a UFO right there. And that made
Hmm.
me think, am what I'm seeing with this squad car, is that real or not? And I still don't know. I still don't know. Was that real or not? But I do
Yeah.
know there was a UFO there. So
It's
it
like
could have been.
the men that stopped my grandmother's car on the dark road one night, and these men came out with hard hats on and put their hands up and said that we had to stop. And it's like
Uh-huh.
they look like road workers, but they weren't. But
Yeah.
when it comes to the dripping hot molten metal, are you aware that that's been reported before?
Yes.
Yeah, and
That's how
so
I knew
you
that the second time I
yeah.
saw it. That's how I knew what it was.
How about that lady that shot it all on video, and you can see it dripping from the craft? And then
I'm not sure if I saw that or not.
yeah, that's a recent video, and they got it on camera more
Oh,
than
okay.
once, two different people.
Uh-huh.
And then one of the people that was on our show is Jim Lowe, um,
Uh-huh.
and he described that exactly. And so, and it's not uncommon for them to be seeing dripping material like that. So it's
I
it we
just remembered I did go looking for it. I went
oh, I was
looking
going
for
to
the
ask you,
dripping.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
That's
couldn't
when I
find
made
it.
the left away from the squad car. I went straight to where I saw it drop, but I couldn't find anything.
Well, it could have dropped anywhere.
It was too bad.
It'd be
Yeah. It
hard
was in a field.
was in a field. Yeah, you need
Yeah.
to go back out there the next day with a metal detector, and then maybe because they have found the drips and they've had them analyzed, but I've never heard what they got back from it. So
Is there a radiation threat from that though? I
I
think I
don't
read
know.
that.
I don't know.
There might be.
One of the pieces of equipment I'd like to add to my our arsenal would be a Geiger counter. You know,
Yeah.
just to be safe. So, Michael, before we close, is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Um,
because what you've shared so
Just
far has
that.
been remarkable, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you. Just that it changed my life. It's my whole view of the universe has expanded way out. Um, um, and my love for the visitors is so great that I've watched invasion movie. I still watch invasion movies
Yeah.
sometimes, but I
Well, they're
prefer the
fun.
old black and white ones because
Oh,
I
yeah.
grew up with those.
Me too.
So I was
Earth,
watching.
Earth versus the
I was
Flying Saucers is one of my favorites.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite. But I was watching a newer one, and the whole thing was okay until they got to the end, and they were going to slaughter these. What's the insect?
Praying
Uh,
mantis.
yeah, they were praying mantises. I had to turn it off. I could not bear to see them shooting at the praying mantises, even though they were supposed to be invaders, which is ridiculous anyway, because we're the threat.
Yes, we are.
These other visitors are not the threat. We are the threat. We are dangerous.
Yeah, we
So,
are. We
so
are.
I just wanted to end with that. It's changed my whole view of everything, and I have all these insights now that I never had before. It's just wonderful, and I have hope now because when I was, when I got admitted into the hospital, for the PTSD, I was suicidal, and now that's out of the question because of my new view of the universe.
Well,
That's not going to
that's
happen.
that's wonderful to hear. Um, there are so many people that agree with you. You are in such good company, uh, Michael. You really
Thank
are,
you, Thank you, Steve.
and you give us hope as well. And we
Great.
really appreciate your testimony. And we're going to stay in touch with you because you're part of the community, and I would imagine things are going to continue to happen. So it'd be nice to have you back when to talk about that as this experience evolves for you.
Okay.
So,
Great.
all right, Michael, thank you so much.
Thank you, Steve. It's a pleasure talking to you and to
You too.
everyone else on the program.